Hey, Nosy Joe here. Gonna do a little, I wouldn't call it a product review, but just kind of product information for you guys. If you're like me, curious about the new IRC GX20 front. IRC announced at TKO last year some new products, some new tires, basically tire sizes got bigger on the rears, got some 140 options for the JX8 and the VE33S, which are great tires. They talked about the GX20 coming out. The problem is if you go to the GX20 webpage at IRC, it really only describes the rear tire, so you don't know what you're getting when you buy the front. So I'm going to talk today a little bit about the GX20, what I think it is, and how it compares to the VX30 and VX40. All right, so picking up with that, on the far right here, we got the GX20, the new tire option. It's described as an FIM tire. Depending on where you read about it, they say it's based on medium tire, but they don't really say if this is a medium tire or not. Then we got the VX30 here in the middle, which is a soft terrain, and then the VX40, which is their intermediate hard, which is what's on my bike right now. As long as it's not too muddy, I really like this VX40. It's got the softest of the compound of the three tires. The VX30 is a little bit stiffer carcass, but still has some pliability there. Just as a matter of reference, I got to run about 14 PSI in the 40 to have a good feel, and to have a similar feel, I got to drop down to about 8 PSI on the 30. You can see differences. The lugs, although very similar in shape between the 40 and 30, this middle row is different. This middle row is aligned with the center row, so you kind of end up with these, almost cleats across, where the 40, that middle row is always offset from the middle and side knobs. So that brings me to the 20, and how does it differ? Well, first of all, the 20 never has these kind of single blocks that the 40 and 30 has. It's always a split block. It kind of alternates between, the spacing of some spaced or close together. They're always these kind of trapezoidal shape, never the square block. So in terms of block shape, the 30 and the 40 are more similar, but then the 30, I guess, has some rounded off there too, or angled off. But the 40 is the 20 is very unique here in the shape, almost like a Michelin star cross, I'd say. Now, as far as knob spacing goes, I set my calipers here to the 20. I don't know what it measures, but just for the sake of comparison, it's wider, you can see, than the spacing on the 30, and even wider yet than the spacing on the 40. So the 40 is the tightest, the 30 is a little bit wider than the 40, and then the 20 is the widest spacing. Now, as far as height goes, I was kind of looking at this beforehand, and the space, or the height of the knobs on the 20 on the center row, are very similar. Of course, these are a little bit worn, but there's no significant difference on these centers. But as you go out to the side, I'm trying to do this quickly here, these side knobs are definitely taller on the 20. So there's that. You can see I got a good millimeter, a heavy millimeter there on the 30 and the 40. So 30 and 40 are very similar side lug height, but the 20 stands alone in being the tallest. So the 20 has got some things going for it. You know, it's new and I'm comparing it to use. It's probably, I would say, the same compound as the 30, where the 40 is a softer compound, or at least softer carcass. The spacing's the widest, the side lugs are the tallest. And the shape of the lugs, like I said, reminds me of some of the more popular front tires on the market right now. So with that, I hope to mount it soon, and I'll let you guys know how it turned out. But that's the information maybe you were looking for. How does the GX20 line up and compare to the rest of the IRC product line?